Welcome to Inspired Conversations, Living the Legacy with Legends. My name is Unkarabilo Mukoto and I am your host. Comedy is not just making people laugh or putting smiles on their faces, but it can also be used to educate and heal other people's souls. Today on my show, I have a legend who uses his comedy to educate and empower other people. Mr. Calvin Mabasa.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, sir, and you are very welcome.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yes. I guess as a comedian, you're not going to make jokes about me. Otherwise, I'm going to cut the show.
No, I won't do that.
All right, you're just going to be serious.
Yeah,
and
I'll be serious on the talk show. Yeah.
All right. No, that's great. Just let's start from the beginning and tell us, who is Calvin Mufasa?
Okay, thank you. It is a privilege for me today to be with you, Mr. Wisdom. My name is Calvin Mufasa. Calvin Mufasa is a versatile person who uses his talent to educate people around the world, not only in his community, but in the country at large. Having said that, as a versatile person, I'm not only based on comedy, but I'm also doing acting, MC, and voice imitator artist, also voice over. So Calvin Mufasa is one of the people who want to educate young people out there, because like if you can check in our country, there are many people out there who don't understand the fact that when you have a talent, it's something that can be profitable at the end of the day. So Calvin is one of the people who want to show people that talent can make you to go somewhere in life.
That's great. But let's talk about comedy. I mean, you have said that you use your comedy to educate people. Yeah. Before that, let's just start where it comes from, the love of comedy. How did you realize that you're actually a comedian?
Well, it has started at the age of 12. I was in the primary level. You know, like I used to, my comedy, as I was telling you, that it's not only a comedy, but it's there to educate people. I used to imitate some of my teachers in the primary level. Like it helped me a lot, and it also helped other people to learn more in our subject. Because like when the teacher finishes teaching, I go in front in the class, yeah, and then I went there and then I take a chalk and I do exactly what I was doing, the teacher was doing. So it started at the age of 12, then it goes gradually up until I've realized that I have a talent and I want to show my talent to the world. Okay. Yes.
And when it comes to education, how do you use it to educate other people?
Okay, in education, I use it to educate in this way. I make it a point that I have to check around the country what is happening. Actually, I research all the time what is happening in the country, and I do comedy out of that. Doing that or making that, it will help other people to know more about the news which has transpired recently. So that is how I use my comedy style to educate people in the country. Because most of the people, as you can know, that these days, youth of these days, they don't like watch news most of the time. What they do music and stuff. So I take serious in watching news. I take my time in watching news to make it a point that I have to educate people more about what was transpired in our country. Okay. That is how I educate them.
Now, you know, I'm always curious about comedy, especially because as much as it's not about making people laugh, you can also educate and heal. But at the end of the day, when someone speaks about comedy, you know that you're going to laugh. So I'm always curious that as a comedian, how do you go about writing the material that will actually make people laugh? Like, how do you know that people are going to laugh when I say this?
Well, that one is very simple. You know, making them laugh or knowing that they're going to laugh at my comedy is that because I don't do like jokes out of somebody, but I also imitate the voice of the person. So automatically, if you like now, if I'm imitating your voice, anyone who knows you, the person is going to laugh. It's like, this is Mr. Wisdom, automatically. So that is how I make them laugh, and I know that I don't have to write anything. But what is it that I'm going to write? I write the name of the person. Who am I going to imitate today? And I will make comment out of that person. That's how I do it.
Okay. Can you imitate me now? Because I remember last year during October project of MHI, you automatically imitated the guy who spoke before you.
Yeah, that was, you know, I don't know how it records in my mind or wherever it's recording in my body. Yeah. I don't know what is it that it's recording. But the moment I left here, that is when I can recall your voice. And when I speak, the voice just come out the way. It is. Yeah, that's how I imitate. But then, like now, as we're doing conversation now, it's not simple for me to imitate you. But like when I left here, your voice just came out like, oh, now this is Mr. Wisdom voice. Yeah.
No, I see. Now, I just want to know, as you said, you started at school. Didn't you have any challenges where, you imitate your teachers and you'll be in trouble because of that?
Yeah. It lead me into some, like, challenges. Most of the teachers, they didn't understand that it's a talent, because some of them, they thought maybe you're mocking them and stuff. So it sent me to offices, principal offices, and some teachers, they was like, oh, Calvin, you're making jokes out of me, which means like you are not respecting me. They thought maybe like I was disrespecting them, not knowing that it's a talent. Yeah. So I have gone through so many challenges because of my talent of doing comedy show.
So don't you think of maybe one day going to your former teachers and actually tell them that, guys, you see now what I was doing was actually a talent, that was not actually. Don't you think of maybe going back to them and
true that is what I've been thinking, that if I can have my comedy show, that is when I can say to them that, you know what, guys, as you have known me for the past few years, I was doing this while I was young. You thought maybe like I was making jokes out of you. I just want to go, I wish to go to them and it's like, you know what, you have been trying to block or to hinder my progress in this kind of my talent of mine, but now that you can see it's a talent, and I'm not going to tell them that only. I also want to tell them doing or utilizing or imitating their voice at the same time. That is going to be more simple for me to do that.
No, that's funny. Now, your role models, who shaped you as a comedian, or actually even now, who still shapes you as a comedian?
Well, the person who shaped me or who is my inspiration, honestly speaking, is Trevor Noah. I've loved Trevor Noah from the Jaywalker and Nationwide, and so many jokes of him. So like since he was my inspiration. I was like, nah, wow, I want to be like him. Wow, I want to be like him. And every time when he used to imitate, like for example, he's imitating Julius Malema or Jacob Zuma, I was like, no, man, he can't imitate this guy. Why can't he? Like, he called me. I wish he know me so that I can go there and imitate the voice. The time when I want to imitate Jacob Zuma and my voice just came out, I do the voice of Jacob Zuma, and then I continue with this joke. So that's one of my inspiration. He's the one who's shaping my talent, my comedy show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the industry of comedy in South Africa, according to you, how is it? Is it growing? Is it promising? According to you, how is the industry?
Well, the industry it's in comedy style. It's promising. I can tell that it's promising, but the thing is, there are a lot of people who are making mistake in this industry, because like they don't know how to make people laugh. They don't just do jokes, but they also do like some swearing and stuff, of which is completely wrong in our industry. So what we have to do, we have to make it a point that we have to change that level and make people understand that comedy is all about laughing. If you leave my show, you must understand that I like. He was cracking with some jokes and I was laughing and I was happy. So it's growing gradually. But the thing is, we just want to educate some people out there that, you know what, in doing comedy, you don't have to like do swearing and stuff. You just do comedy. Make somebody to laugh at the end of the day. That's it. Okay.
Talking about making people laugh, have you ever experienced a situation where you tried to make people laugh and they didn't laugh?
Yeah.
Sometimes... I mean, personally, I've listened to many comedians, you know, and someone will speak and I don't laugh. I don't get anything that will make me laugh from what you're saying.
Yeah, that it happens sometimes. But the thing is, you must know the age group. You don't just do jokes, because like there are some of the people who are like politicians. It's not like they're full time in comedy stuff. They sometimes need to laugh and stuff. But the thing is, you must even check how the situation at the moment. It was like, okay, this person, is he happy today or is he angry or what? Even if it's angry, you can make the person laugh. But there's a situation where you can't make them laugh, because like you might find that somebody is stressed of something or family issues and stuff. They won't laugh. So you have to check, okay, what is this guy? It's like these people, do they laugh so calm? You must check what is it that they laugh. That is when you can make them laugh. It's not simple to make somebody laugh, honestly.
So, but
go with the time.
How do you feel if you try to make people laugh and people don't laugh? How do you feel as a comedian?
Obviously, you become offended. You'll become offended, because like every time you think that when you crack a joke, everybody will laugh. So you only find that, okay, only 2% laughing. I was like, the rest they're not laughing. So like you become like, oh wow, ish. Actually, I'm disappointed. I thought maybe they're going to laugh. So yeah, it's disappointing.
But,
it's disappointing.
But you don't show in front of us that actually
You don't show. You continue making jokes. You continue making jokes like okay, you'll check. Okay, maybe like there is a current news which is trending. You have to check on that one also and start like talking about something which is trending at the moment. That is when you change the conversation. Because like when you become ashamed, people they didn't laugh at your joke. Or obviously you want to make yourself to be in a good level. So you have to check what is trending at the moment and then go with the flow actually.
So as a comedian, how do you make your way up there? Like, you look, people like Trevor Noah, David Gow, the likes. How do you make your way up there to a point where you are known like them? You get those gigs that, because I mean, I've met many comedians, especially local comedians, they will say, I'm struggling with getting gigs.
Yeah.
So how do you make your way up there and stand out to get actually more gigs so that you can actually make a living?
Okay, that one it's very simple because like what we do as a comedian, we don't have to rely on our managers. We have to understand that this thing is a God-given talent of which nobody can take it away from us. It's all about effort. You must put more effort in everything that you're doing. If you know that you're talented in this thing, put more effort and make it a point that you have to book yourself. You get yourself a booking sometimes. How do you get a booking? You can do an MC. If you invite me in your wedding, I have to make it a point that is where I get an exposure. I don't only read what is written in the program. I have to make it a point that I have to create a jokes, to make a serious joke there so that people can know me from there. That is when I can get booking. So that is how you can grow gradual. Because like the many people remember, in a wedding, it's not only the bride and the groom. There are only other people. There are also other people are coming from other countries coming to support the groom or the bride. So that is where you get some booking. So you brand yourself in that way.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I want us to talk about, because I've also seen that you're actually a multi-talented person, and you've also said it in the introduction that you don't only do comedy, also you're also an actor and a singer. But before we speak about that, more on comedy. Voice imitation. Can you just imitate one person that I know of and that maybe is known?
Yeah, that one is very simple. My first, every time when I imitate people's voice, I start with my legend, my icon, Nelson Mandela. I love his voice. Everybody can imitate him, but the way they imitate him is not the way the voice like the original voice. In the meantime, I can say, Your Majesties, Your Highness, distinguished guest, comrade and friend, today all of us do, by our presence here, and by, this kind of thing. So I start with him. And the second person I start again is Mzwake Mbule. Why do I love Mzwake Mbule? Because like Mzwake, he do poem. And it's not only doing poems, it's also in music and stuff. So, God Emmanuel, the King of Judah, the Messiah. This kind of thing. This is how I imitate.
That's great. That's great. Now, a comedian and a singer, okay, an actor I can understand, but a comedian and a singer, how do they combine?
Well, sometimes I ask myself, like, what is it? Where do I belong actually? Where do I belong actually? Because like in comedy I'm there, in singing I'm there. That is why I just do single. I don't want to do a full album. Okay. A reason why, because like there are many people are like, Calvin, yeah, this single is fine, man. Why can't you do gospel? Okay, I went to gospel, I did it right. I go to Afro pop, I do it right. Like I don't even know where I belong. So I end up saying, no, I don't want to sing anymore. Let me just brand myself in comedy stuff, and then that's it. But in singing, I'm also there. Okay. Yes.
No, that's great. And you're also an entrepreneur.
Yes. Yes.
And I was looking at your profile and I see, so this is different. Yeah. You're doing something different out of music, out of an act, out of a comedy.
Yeah.
Where does that thing come from?
Okay, it comes in at an early age, being an entrepreneur, because like what I've checked in our educational system, a South African educational system, they don't teach us how to make business, but they will teach us that you must go to school and obtain a certain qualification. Therefore, you must be employed. So I just want to change that mindset that, if you're a young South African, you have to make it a point that you have to change your mindset. Anyone can be an entrepreneur, but depending on what is it that you're going to do. as an entrepreneur. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm an actor, I'm a comedian or whatever. So I just want to brand myself. How do I brand myself? Let me just do an entrepreneur. Because like if I was, let's say for example, if I was an employee now, I was not going to have the time with you, have this conversation with you now. Because like I was like, man, I'm at work. So I have seen to it that, okay, how do I nurture my talent? I have to be an entrepreneur. That is going to help me. So because like I'm my own boss, there is no way that somebody is going to disturb me from anything. So I have to be an entrepreneur and then change the mindset of South African people that they must go to school and obtain certificate to get employed. They must make it a point that must have their own businesses. That is how it came about.
That's a great stuff. That's a great stuff. Now, I mean, where do you see yourself in 5 years, especially in a field of comedy, as a comedian?
Well, in 5 years' time, I see myself having a show like a Trevor Noah's show, because like it's my inspiration. So I just want to see myself like helping other comedians out there and make it a point that comedy is not only in Africa, but we have to make it to make it global. Being born in a community in a village doesn't mean that you can't go somewhere in the world. So you have to explore and make it a point that you must learn and do everything and check everything and combine all the information out there, and then you make comedy out of it. So in 5 years' time, I just want to see myself having my own comedy shows, daily comedy show actually, like Trevor Noah, that's how he's doing.
That's a great stuff. I wanted you to say something to people who are watching the show now. Those who want to be comedians, but I think you have covered it. I don't know if you want to add anything. Yeah. Someone is watching the show now. He's thinking, he's dreaming of becoming a comedian. He's thinking of being like Trevor Noah, being like David Gawi and the likes. What can you say to such person? This is a young person who is watching the show now.
Well, to a South African young citizen who are watching the show now, I just want to say to them that, guys, you have to make it a point that first thing first, it's education. Education comes first. The reason why, because like you have to be more educated. Because like, there are some of the places where you can do a comedy show and you only find that these people that don't understand Zulu, Tswana, or other languages, they only understand English. So the first thing first, you have to be educated. You must get education. You must be transformed. Therefore, you can do a comedy show. So to them, I can say that it's very simple. But this journey is tough. So they have to make it a point that they have to push, study, and then that is how they can do their comedy stuff. Yeah.
Now, if people want to get hold of you, as you have said that you can be an MC also, if people want to get, your services as a comedian, where can they get you?
No, they can get me through my Facebook, which is Calvin Mufasa, and I can also leave my contact if it's fine with you, and my email address. Yeah, my email address is Mpata, it's mpha.mabasa, cm@gmail.com. And then my contact is 079 7539 755. And on Facebook, it's Calvin Mufasa. That's it.
Mr. Calvin Mabasa, thank you, sir, for coming. And I want to thank you that you didn't make a joke about me. I was just scared to say this man is going to make fun of me.
No.
So thank you so much for coming. And all the best for your future. And just continue branding yourself as a comedian. And then I believe, God will make a way.
No, thank you so much. And thank you for having me. Thank you. It was a nice interview. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Inspired Conversations, Living the Legacy with Legends. My name is Unkarabilo Mukoto, and I'm saying to you, let's meet next time, same place, same time, on Global Conference TV. The journey continues.